Hey everyone, and welcome back to Ben's Kitchen, where today I'm making one of my mom's favorite foods, lasagna. It was her birthday a few days ago, and so she asked me to make her this as her gift, and so I thought, why not film it and show everyone this amazing lasagna that everyone seems to love. It's a really good recipe. And what makes it really good is that you simmer the sauce for a long time. And so just right now we're building the sauce. So right now I'm sweating some onions. And then once these become barely translucent, I'm going to add in 4 cloves of crushed garlic. And then once that starts to become fragrant, I'm going to add in a pound of sweet Italian sausage and 3/4 of a pound of ground lean beef. Also note on the pot, this would be best made in a Dutch oven or a smaller pot than this. But my Dutch oven is actually in storage still, so I'm just using what I have here. This is just in stock pot. And it'll work fine, You don't want to use aluminum or anything like that can give off that's corrodable at all, because we're going to be using tomatoes in this, and those are acidic and they can degrade that and make your sauce taste all metallic. And also this is a gift that I got from my uncle. They're called early wood. They're beautiful wooden utensils that you can use for cooking. And as you see, they have this nice curved edge to get in the corners and stuff. And also they're really good for getting all of the fond off to make sauces. So it's the first time using it, and I thought I'd premiere it in a Ben's Kitchen episode. Awesome. Woohoo! So the onions were translucent, and so I added in some garlic. And I just use my garlic press. Some people are against garlic presses. I really like them. I don't want to spend all that time making my hands smell all like garlic and trying to mince it up super fine when a garlic press does just fine. It makes it a little bit more like a strong flavor. I don't know how else to describe it. But when you're making a sauce like this, it's not going to matter that much in the end. You just want that garlic flavor. It's going to cook down so much. So now that it's fragrant, I'm going to add in the sweet Italian sausage and the ground beef. So now the meat's in, and you can hear it sizzling away. I'm just going to leave it undisturbed so it can get some good color on at least one side to build some of that flavor. When you actually brown something like meat or cookies or anything, that's called the Maillard reaction. And it's the interaction between a bajillion, not really that many, but a lot of different chemicals, a lot of different chemical compounds are all happening to basically start to brown and make things taste good. And there's a lot of info on what the Maillard reaction is. You can look it up. It's really cool. It's a chemist who discovered it. Really cool. That actually looks kind of cool. Alright, yes, over there is the sweet Italian sausage, and that's the ground beef. So the meat is just about ready to be met with the sauce, and as you can see, there's some fond that I created. Not as much as I would like, but that's okay. The recipe doesn't even call for this. It just wants you to make the meat kind of brown, but not sear it or anything. So something that I just decided I should do this time. It's great either way, honestly. It would just give a little bit more complexity to the sauce. But you cook it for so long anyways that you don't always need that. But then I'm going to be adding in this 28-ounce can of crushed tomatoes, a can of tomato sauce, and 12 ounces, which is 2 normal-sized cans of tomato paste. And then a half a cup of liquid, and I did a 1/4 cup of red wine and a 1/4 cup of water. The recipe only calls for water, but like I've said in other videos, red wine really opens up the flavors of tomato products. There are some compounds in tomatoes that can only be opened up to our taste buds basically by alcohol. So that's why I'm using red wine. And now the fond has really developed, and so I'm going to add in these things and the water. And this is a spice mixture, basically. It has Italian seasoning, which I know is cheating, but I made this recipe a bajillion times. Okay, again, not a bajillion times, but a good amount, and it's amazing. Fennel seed, dried basil, white sugar, and salt. And the white sugar is there basically to counteract the acidity of all these tomato products. It also has black pepper in it. And I'm going to add in 2 tablespoons of chopped fresh parsley as well. So here we go. So first in will be the crushed tomatoes, and then the tomato sauce. Really hard. And then this water mixture of wine and water. That's good. And then I'm going to need both hands for that. I'm also adding in these 2 Parmesan rinds that I've frozen just to give added complexity to the sauce. I like to do that in soups or sauces I've talked about in my other videos. It's an amazing thing to do. Always, always, always freeze and save your Parmesan rinds. So I've now added in the tomato paste and the spice mixture. And I'm gonna scrape the very bottom of the entire pot to get all of that fond into the mixture, so it can kind of redissolve into this liquid. I'm also gonna turn down the heat to a simmer, and we're basically gonna simmer this once I add in the chopped parsley and the Parmesan rinds for an hour and a half to 2 hours. That's really gonna develop a lot of the flavor. I'm also gonna add a little bit more liquid because the sauce always ends up being a little too thick. So now the last thing to go in is this roughly 2 tablespoons of chopped fresh parsley. So that's just gonna go right in. Oh yeah, that's really pretty. And I'll stir this in. I gotta say, I love this tool, this early wood thing. It was really helpful to get all of the tomato sauces out of the cans. It was really helpful to scrape the bottom of the pan and just as like a normal wooden spoon, just to basically stir stuff. Amazing. Thank you, Uncle Brett. I appreciate it. It was a really nice gift. And there's 2 more to the set, varying sizes. So 1 medium and 1 small. And yeah, I can't wait just to use them in more applications. All right, so this is basically just going to simmer for a while. And so when we come back, it'll be to, I think, build the whole lasagna, which is going to be exciting, the most exciting part. So for eating it. So you can hear it simmering. So I'm going to leave it covered and simmer it for 1.5 hours to 2 hours. All right, I'll see you then. All right, guys, so it's been about 2 to 2.5 hours. The sauce is done now. I'm still cooking it because, just will continue to get flavor. Sorry, that's steamy. That's the mozzarella cheese. And so for a lot of recipes, they call for cooking the noodles. That is actually not necessary. These are just normal lasagna noodles. They're not pre or par cooked or anything, but I'm just going to soak them in really hot tap water for about 10 minutes, and that will make it so that they're pliable, but they can actually soak up the juices when I cook the lasagna, and that'll make it even more flavorful, and will make it so it's not watery and more firm. Okay, so those are going to soak for 10 minutes, and then once those are all done, I'm going to drain them off, and then we'll start constructing. And I'll have the different elements are the noodles, the mozzarella cheese, obviously the sauce, some Parmesan cheese, and then a ricotta mixture that's ricotta with an egg and some parsley and salt and pepper. All right, so now it's assembly time. So I have the noodles that I've par cooked, basically in that hot tap water. It took a little longer than 10 minutes, but see, they're malleable, but they're not fully cooked. I have the mozzarella. I have the Parmesan. Grate your own Parmesan if you can, but this is fine. This is the ricotta mixture, and of course the sauce. So I'm going to put the sauce on, and then I'll show you just each layer that I do after that. So I put the noodles on. Now I'm going to put half of this ricotta mixture on, and then mozzarella, and then the meat sauce, a little more of the meat sauce, and then some of the cheese, the Parmesan. All right, so now I put half the ricotta mixture over those as evenly as I could. Now I'm going to put a third of the mozzarella, and then a third of this Parmesan. Woohoo! Well, actually, no, a third of the mozzarella, and then another cup and a half of meat sauce, and then the Parmesan. So the mozzarella's on there, and now time for some meat sauce. Okay. It's 1 scoop. That's 2 scoops. And 3 scoops. So now I'm going to even that all out, and I'll put on the Parmesan. Actually, when I put on the Parmesan. So there's the Parmesan, and now I'm going to do more noodles, and then I'm just going to repeat that same layer, and then on the very last, and then another layer of noodles, and then on the top of that, I'm going to do a little bit of meat sauce, and then just all of the cheese. It's going to be really good. So now I just repeat that layer, and then I put pasta on that, and I put some meat sauce, and now I'm going to put the last third of the mozzarella and the last third of the Parmesan on top, and then I'm going to cover it in foil and bake it for, I think, 45 minutes. I'm not sure. But yeah, and then I'll take off the foil, and that's where you get the crispy bits, is when I bake it without the foil. So now I'm going to cover this in foil and bake it. Woohoo! Look at that. Yum. So it is now in the oven, and it'll bake with the foil on it for 25 minutes, and then I'll take the foil off and I'll bake it for an additional 25 to 35 minutes until it gets crispy on top. Yeah, and as you can tell, it's definitely cooked all the way through. Yeah, that's going to be all crispy on the edges. But my mom specifically asked for a crunchy topping, crispy topping, so I'm going to put it on the broiler now, and just keep my eye on it because you do not want it to burn. And that's just going to really toast it on up. And I'll show you that once it's all done. Yay! All right, everyone. This is the finished lasagna. I'm giving it to my mom tomorrow, so I guess you won't really see a cross-sectional. When I put it up on YouTube, I'll probably use a slice as the thumbnail if I can. But look at how nice and crusty the top is. Man, so good. That's the Parmesan and the mozzarella. So thank you for watching this episode of Ben's Kitchen, where I make one of my mom's favorite foods for her birthday. Happy birthday, Mom. I love you a lot. I hope you enjoy it. And yeah, I guess tune in for the next episode, which I'm currently making, which is my favorite pizza that I make at home. All right. Bye.